At 82, I've learned that growing older isn't something to fear, it's something to understand. When I was younger, I saw aging as a slow decline, a fading of the life I once knew. But now, standing on the other side of those years, I see it differently. Aging isn't about losing yourself. It's about seeing the world through clearer eyes. It's about learning what truly matters and what never really did. If you're watching this, maybe you've been thinking about what it means to grow old. Maybe you're worried about losing your youth. Or maybe you're already in the later chapters of your life and trying to make peace with it. Wherever you are, I want to share with you 6 beautiful truths I've discovered about growing older. Because aging, when you really understand it, isn't an ending. It's a different kind of beginning. Stay with me until the end, because the last truth might just change the way you see your life from this day forward. The first truth is that time slows down, and that's a gift. When you're young, life moves fast. You're always chasing something, a career, a dream, a goal. Days blur into weeks, and years vanish before you even notice. But as you grow older, something shifts. The pace slows, the noise quiets, and at first it feels strange, almost unsettling. But then you realize the beauty in it. You start noticing the small things you never had time for before. The way sunlight filters through your window in the morning, the sound of rain tapping against the roof, the laughter of your grandchildren, or the peaceful silence of an empty room that once was filled with chaos. You stop racing toward what's next and start cherishing what's now. Growing older teaches you to savor life instead of sprinting through it, because when time slows down, that's when you truly begin to live. The second truth is that you learn the real meaning of enough. When I was younger, I always wanted more success, more possessions, more validation. I thought happiness was something you could collect, something you could build with effort. But now I know happiness isn't in what you have. It's in what you no longer need. The older I got, the more I realized that enough is a powerful word. Enough isn't settling. It's peace. It's looking around your home, your memories, your family, and saying, "This is enough. I am enough." You start letting go of the constant desire to prove yourself. You no longer need the approval of others because you finally understand your own worth. Growing older teaches you to stop chasing and start appreciating. And if you're still searching for happiness, maybe it's not out there somewhere. Maybe it's already in your hands. Quiet, steady, and enough. The third truth is that relationships become simpler but deeper. When you're young, you collect people. Friends, coworkers, acquaintances, everyone you meet feels important. But with age, that circle gets smaller. Not because you've lost people, but because you've learned who truly matters. You start valuing quality over quantity. The small, genuine connections, the people who listen without judgment, who show up without being asked, they become your treasures. You don't have time for drama or pretense anymore. There's a peace in that simplicity. You stop trying to impress and start trying to connect. You realize that love in its quietest form, a shared meal, a thoughtful call, a hand to hold, means more than grand gestures ever could. Growing older teaches you that love doesn't need to be loud to be real. The fourth truth is that you stop chasing perfection. For most of my life, I tried to be perfect. The perfect parent, the perfect friend, the perfect version of myself. But age has a funny way of showing you the truth. Perfection doesn't exist, and it never did. The wrinkles, the gray hair, the slower steps, they aren't flaws. They're reminders of a life lived fully. Every line on your face is a story. Every scar, every ache, a memory. When you finally stop trying to be perfect, you start to feel free. You realize that authenticity is far more beautiful than perfection ever was. You learn to laugh at your mistakes, forgive yourself for what you didn't know, and take pride in how far you've come. Growing older isn't about losing your shine. It's about shining differently. The fifth truth is that you find joy in the ordinary. When I was younger, I thought happiness came from big moments, the vacations, the promotions, the milestones. But now I've learned that joy lives in the everyday things we often overlook. It's in the smell of morning coffee, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of birds outside your window, or the way a familiar song brings back a flood of memories. The older you get, the more you realize that these small moments are what make life rich. They don't need to be spectacular. They just need to be noticed. And maybe that's what wisdom really is. Finally having the eyes to see what was always beautiful. The sixth and final truth is that you realize every day is a gift. When you reach a certain age, loss becomes a part of life. Friends pass on, loved ones leave. The world you once knew changes around you. But instead of making you bitter, it gives you perspective. You start waking up each morning with gratitude, not for what you've achieved, but simply for being here. For one more sunrise, one more conversation, one more chance to say, I love you. The truth is, every day is borrowed time, and growing older helps you finally understand what that means. You stop taking life for granted and start living with intention. You smile more, worry less, and love deeper, because you realize that the greatest privilege in life isn't youth, it's time. Looking back, I used to be afraid of aging. I thought it meant losing everything that made life vibrant. But I see now that growing older doesn't take away the beauty of life. It deepens it. You become softer, kinder, more understanding. You forgive more easily. You laugh more often. And somewhere along the way, you stop chasing the life you thought you wanted and start loving the one you have. So if you're afraid of getting older, don't be. Life doesn't lose its meaning with age. It reveals it. Every wrinkle, every memory, every moment you've lived is a reminder that you've been here. You've loved, you've learned, and you've mattered. That's the beautiful truth about growing older. Thank you for spending this time with me. If these words touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe for more stories like this one. Until next time, cherish your days, love deeply, and keep finding beauty in the years ahead.